Welcome to Becoming Saiyans.
A Dragon Ball rewatch podcast.
And we're back. I'm Truman.
And I'm Jesse.
And this is Becoming Saiyans, the Dragon Ball Rewatch podcast. On today's episode, we watched episodes number 53 and 54. Sorry about that. Or 52 and 53, I mean.
Yeah.
52 and 53. I had them backwards on my trivia stuff. Titled The Pirate Treasure and Blue, Black, and Blue. These ones originally came out in February 25th, 1987, when it was in Japan, and then March 14th, 2002 in America. And then the next one was March 4th, and then March 15th, or March 4th, 87, March 15th, 2002. So they came out the next day on in America, back to back, which is pretty cool, like just speed running it, you know?
Yeah, but I think that's like early age of like Funimation.
Yeah, I was thinking
stuff,
that's probably around when Toonami started taking off, and they were just pumping out episodes.
And I think at that
night.
point they were just like catching up.
Yeah, every night it's like here's an episode, here's an episode.
Because I mean, from what I know about Dragon Ball, like in 2002, like Z was coming out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Z was coming out at that point.
Z was like really coming out at that point in time. Like first couple of seasons, it probably already came out with Z.
Yeah.
I don't know how many like season formats.
Yeah, I don't know how. I know they work in arcs. I don't know how the seasons format works. So
Yeah, but like I mean, there would have been a solid amount of episodes, solid, way more movies, things like that.
yeah, and so getting into some debuts. One of my favorite debuts that I've read is Octopapa makes a debut in The Pirate Treasure.
We'll talk about him. We had fun laughing at him.
Yeah,
It
we
was
had
pretty
some
funny.
fun. But some differences from the manga is in the manga. There's only one chest. There are 3 different chests in the anime.
Just
And-
to pad for time, and also just makes sense that there'd be booby chaps chest in
Yeah.
Pirate Cove.
And in the manga, the treasure is just in the chest after you get past the sword fighter. But in the anime, it's inside the statue.
So that's also inside the wall, which we find out at the very end of the last episode.
Yeah, it's like everywhere. But Bulma's immediate infatuated reaction in the anime is slightly turned down in the manga, merely declaring Blue as her type. In the manga, she yells, but caramba, what a bad guy. On the other hand, her physical interaction with Blue is made more overt, as in the manga, she merely rubs against his arms and meowed and purred like a cat, while in the anime, she goes as far as to lick him. But Blue's reaction in the manga was not only to yank himself free, but quickly moved back several feet. And in the anime, it's only shown that he yanked himself free and recoiled. On a similar note, Bulma, and by extension Krillin's reaction towards Blue's rejections of Bulma and advances varied slightly, though it was clear in both sources that he was at least suspected he was homosexual. In the manga, Bulma merely speculated that Blue must be gay because of the way he rejected her, with Krillin quipping that he didn't even know villains could be gay. In the anime, they instead seemed to deduce that he was gay, with Bulma directly stating such, and then Krillin reinforces the claim by saying a gay officer in the Red Ribbon Army. Guessing this is all in Japanese, because this was not what was said to us.
Yeah,
on our
I know.
episodes.
We didn't. We got a lot of just them being surprised that he was just rejecting her.
Yeah.
No. I mean, we obviously know because we've read like a factoid. That's it.
Yeah, we read about this fact like 4 or 5 episodes, you know.
So we were making gay jokes, but they were not making gay jokes.
No. This also carries over to the second time Bulma tries to seduce him. In the manga, she reacts again, and that her speculation must have been correct. But in the anime, she already had deduced that. She just forgot. Blue's anger at being called gay by Krillin and Bulma is more apparent in the manga, where he briefly flinches and twitches before angrily demanding to know what they called him and stating the consequences for insulting him are severe. In the manga, when Blue realizes Krillin's about to successfully kick him, Blue's able to move out of the way, or barely able to yell no, followed by Bulma yelling yes. In the anime, Blue never gets a chance to say anything, and Bulma also congratulates Krillin. In the manga, Blue immediately uses psychic eyes before the latter even has a chance to reply. In the anime, he gets a chance to, say some stuff, throw some insults,
Yeah.
Man, saying in the best shot, give it his best shot in the English dub. And then the Japanese version, other insults, he insults him further by calling him a flaming homo. which is just an insane thing. What the heck is going on?
Well, you do have to realize, and
It was the 80s, but that doesn't.
It's the
change
80s in Japan. Japan even still to this day isn't like they're not the worst country in the world when it comes to being like homosexual stuff. But I believe gay marriage still is illegal.
Yeah,
like same sex marriage is still illegal in Japan.
I don't know much about
or
that
if it's
over
not
there,
still illegal, it became legalized within the last year or two. But I think it's still illegal in Japan. At least in most prefectures. I think there are some places in Japan where you could probably do it. But
yeah.
so other people can know that better. And I could Google it, but I'm not going to spend 5 minutes trying to find an answer.
Yeah.
But I'll give you the answer that I know off the top of my head, where it's like, it's pretty frowned upon. It's even still. So just going back 40 years, it would have been like extremely taboo.
Yeah.
It would have been shunned from the village type stuff. So
yeah,
that kind of gives you an idea of where those conversations and prompts come from, and those insults in the Japanese version might be.
There's some more stuff from the manga, where it basically like Bulma, when she's trying to seduce him the second time, pretends to be a guy, and he's like, "I know you're not a guy. You have like breasts."
Yeah, boobs.
Yeah. And then I guess in the anime and a different, like in the Japanese version, when that happens, he screams that she'd be a freak of nature if she was a guy. She also attempts to offer to give the Dragon Balls for sparing Krillin, and he refuses to do so. Just some more stuff there. As for trivia on the episode, some shots of Goku running down the hallway. He's running one direction and then another direction. And then there's another shot that shows the branch hallway behind him. What Krillin did exactly to the statue isn't elaborated. So maybe he threw the sword at it, or he whacked a statue and then threw it. The gold chest contains that puppet that shoots anybody. On the other hand, the copper chest just has the key, and it's never revealed what the silver chest contains. Even though we do find out later it was empty, because I think Goku opens it at one point. When he's trying to find the Dragon Ball.
Or I think he was trying to find the mouse or something.
Oh. When General Blue's scenes of Bulma and Krillin, they were mostly rewritten as either censorship or otherwise to add more humor. And this is where, this is all the things where they talk about, all of the homosexual jokes and stuff. And they just relist all of them again.
Yeah, for reference, we didn't get any like homosexual jokes.
No.
The only insinuation of him being homosexual is him just not falling for Bulma twice.
And recoiling. And
recoiling
like
every time.
horror.
And saying she's like disgusting.
But
and are you trying to give me nightmares? Like
and if you didn't know he was gay, you would just assume he was just one of the more honorable men in the army, because he sees a teenager and is like, I don't want to have to deal. I don't want these problems. That's gross.
It's either
it could go that way.
Honorable, Bulma's just straight up not his type.
Yeah.
You don't like if I didn't know he was gay, I'd just be like, it's kind of weird. He doesn't like Bulma, but like also it's kind of good because she is a child.
Yeah,
it's a good sign that this 25-plus-year-old man doesn't want to date a teenager.
Yeah. And it looks like the rest of these, a lot of the other trivia is mostly just in that similar situation.
It's just talking about the gay stuff.
Yeah. And then it also brings up that he references that the Girl Scouts exist in the Dragon Ball universe and that the Mona Lisa exists, which, adds more lore to our world building.
To our world building, yeah. Just gives you more world building. It's every tiny smidbit. It's not smidbit. Every tiny tidbit of like information. I don't know why I said snidbit. I don't know where that came from. Of information like that. It's like it just gives you more understanding. Okay. Certain historical like contexts, like they still happen. Certain things happen, but not everything's the same, which is interesting to see.
Yeah. And then in his fight with Blue, Krillin becomes the first person apparently to make him bleed in combat. And then in the manga and the Japanese version of the anime, Goku mistakes Octopapa for a squid. In the English dub, he mistakes him for a spider, which is way funnier than a squid.
Way funnier than a squid.
Because how would you know what a squid was, but not an octopus? And then in the English dub, Blue's voice slightly changes, and when the pitch comes up, it sounds similar to a voice that is used for older Krillin. Possibly a hint that Blue's Funimation actor, which is Sonny Strait, takes over for Laurie Steele in an episode later on.
Nice.
in the anime. So he does become like the older Krillin. And
at least for a time being.
Yeah.
A little tidbit.
Yeah.
Little tiny bit.
Yeah. Moving on to the next episode. Hopefully it's not as long because that was a lot.
Yeah, that was all the first episode.
Yeah.
We're not even into the second episode.
The differences from the manga: Bulma tries to distract General Blue, and it backfires. That was anime exclusive. Similar note: the manga has Goku having the clear advantage over the Blue up until the eyes in the anime. Blue initially has the advantage, and then it turns immediately after. In the manga, Blue attempts to squish Goku with a rock, only to decide on kicking him around and then shooting him. And the anime, he never even considers using the rock, but immediately assaults him and then almost shoots him. In the manga, the 3-star ball was not lodged in the mouth of a skeleton. It was under a rock. I bring that up in my notes. From what we know about the Dragon Balls at this point and what I know about it later on, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for it to be lodged in a skeleton's mouth, but we'll get there. General Blue regaining consciousness and seeing all the treasure briefly before being buried is exclusive to the anime. In the manga, he makes an effort to retrieve the chest. In that he was trying to make that a take for the Red Ribbon Army so that he can salvage something from the mission. Instead in the anime, he's like, I'm going to keep this all for myself.
And then dies.
Yeah.
Presumably dies.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think we're going to get a confirmed kill in Dragon Ball for a very, very long time. But we have assumed kills.
Yeah.
And this is one of them, where it's just like, he's dead. I would be surprised if there's any reference to him still kicking around somewhere.
Yeah. And then even though the treasure was shown to be coming from the statue, it seems to be full of treasure, or shown to be full of, the golden chest is shown to have treasure in it when Blue kicks Goku directly at the chest.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And
I thought it was kind of weird.
On a similar note, it looks like it was just color specs, only for the treasure to be full in the chest, which may imply that the pirates who collected the treasure utilized similar things like the capsules to store the treasure. As Blue's about to shoot Goku with the shotgun, Bulma cries out that Goku may be strong, but he's only human. Obviously, we know that's not true, and it talks about that more here. And it should be noted in the Japanese version, she specified that Goku wouldn't have survived that type of gunshot instead of and we've seen in other episodes he gets shot, and Bulma shot him herself.
Yeah. But I think a point blank, especially if it's a slug.
Yeah, I mean that's why the distinction of this type of weapon would have made more sense than
this type of weapon from a foot away.
Yeah, instead of
it's definitely doing
can't
damage.
Survive a gunshot at all when we know he can.
Can't survive it. Anyways, little flashback to all the times Goku has been shot in the last 53 episodes.
Yeah. And then Bulma's exclamation of "Move it or you'll be a permanent resident" is similar to a line from Raiders of the Lost Ark, where Belok tells Indy that he'll be a permanent addition to the Well of Souls after trapping him inside of it.
Yep.
It's also similar to a line in The Empire Strikes Back where Han Solo says to C-3PO while attempting to flee Echo Base. They don't give me the quote there, but there you go.
Something similar to that.
Yeah. All right. The location of the 3-star ball was a little bit weird because at the end of the Wish to Eternal Dragon, it would have to fly under the ocean, into the pirate cave, through the submarine bay and its corridors, under the water, out to the treasure room, and then back underwater again before lodging itself in the mouth of the skull, which is what I brought up. It doesn't make sense for this one to be as hard to get as this, because the ball, the rock, the inert ball would have to fly through all of this to get to that one spot.
Like if this was like one of the first Dragon Balls we got when we were doing the first adventure, would make sense because maybe the pirates got it and it was part of their treasure and they put it in the thing.
They just had it there, yeah.
But like the fact that it has to it doesn't teleport; they physically travel.
Yeah,
like we know.
So it has to do all of this.
It is a little Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny though.
Yeah. At the end of the episode. Shows Goku trying to navigate through a hallway that has never been depicted earlier. But it might have also just been because we weren't really seeing it, but because we didn't really focus on the hallway as Bulma and Krillin were running through it or whatever. But this was also the first first episode to use music from the movie Curse of the Blood Rubies.
It's been a minute since we watched that, so I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Didn't notice.
Yeah. And the distraction was a little bit different from the English dub. She says what's on the ceiling. In the Japanese dub, she points and says there's pandas having a picnic, which is hilarious.
No wonder, especially with that one. No wonder Goku was the only one to look.
Yeah,
probably doesn't know what pandas are. He barely knows what a picnic probably is. He's like, what's that?
Yes, and then it looks like there's some differences between the Japanese and English adaptation. When they're about to start fighting, there's some different words that are exchanged, and they're also in that scene. There's when Mousy is rewritten, where after the mouse shows up, the rock, scissors, and paper combo, he says he's going to use that instead. And then on a similar note, the English dub, he says it's not a mouse. Did you see the size of the tail? Implying it was a rat. The English title refers to a euphemism for a severe beating as black and blue, which I think is why you knew what that one was going to be, like when you wrote down Goku's going to beat up Blue, you knew it was going to be Blue getting beat black and blue, because we know that saying. We're from America. It makes sense to us.
We grew up with our grandparents. We grew up with our grandparents a lot when we were really young. And they use that type of slang down here.
Yeah. So. And then the last one here is just again saying it's the first episode to use music from the Curse of the Blood Rubies, which they said that earlier, but I guess it wasn't good enough, so they had to say it twice.
A fact so cool, I said it twice.
Yeah, and now, jumping into our recap previously on Dragon Ball. Krillin and Bulma find the treasure room, and Blue is hot on their tails, but is waiting patiently to see what they find. Krillin has to fight a totem guardian statue that's throwing swords at him until he wins. Then he almost gets shot by a toy soldier before getting the key and finding all the treasure. Blue shows up and promptly gets into a fight with Krillin and then defeats him. And in that moment, Goku breaks in because while all this is going on, Goku is on his own mission where his hallway led him to a trap door where he fell and had to fight against our favorite character here, Octopapa. And he eventually skewers him and is having a little break where he gets to eat some food before he hears Krillin and runs to their aid. Next episode, Goku is there and is ready to fight, and he's going to destroy Blue. They get into a back and forth fight as the whole area is collapsing around them. Goku is eventually able to win after some strife, and then goes to get the Dragon Ball as Bulma and Krillin run off, and it looks like they're going to abandon him, and will Goku make it in time while sucking on a mouse? That's where we're at now, and that was what you missed on Dragon Ball. Jesse, go for it.
These episodes were way more fun and entertaining to watch than the last two episodes. Not saying the last two episodes were necessarily terrible, but they definitely dragged more than these ones.
Yeah.
In the last two episodes, I did find myself in moments where I'm just like, man, this take forever. This take forever. Yeah. It's like if we didn't have this podcast, I might just take a nap.
Yeah.
During these episodes, but I have to watch it. I have to watch it for the podcast. Whereas this one, I'm like, they keep your attention. And I think that's what you want from a show like this.
Yeah.
It's just keep you invested.
Yeah, I mean, what more could you want than to just have an episode that can keep you looking? Yeah. At minimum, that's what you want your episodes to be. You obviously want more than that, but at minimum, you want an episode that's going to have some entertainment to it.
To want to recommend it to people, you want to recommend a show that keeps you invested.
Yeah.
At minimum. Now, you really want to. Anything beyond that is just icing on the cake. But at minimum, you want a 7 out of 10 show where it's it has moments, but for 90% of it, it keeps your attention. And for about 85-90% of these episodes, you are invested, you're having fun, you might be chuckling a bit here and there. You're watching some good animation. Yeah.
One of my favorite things that I noticed from this episode, and it's not going to be my best thing, it's just a thing that I noticed a lot, was Goku commenting on the structural integrity of the cave. It's like, oh, he didn't know that Goku was a master of architecture, at his young age. He's like, this isn't going to hold much longer. And it's like, Goku, how do you know that?
I mean, to be fair,
He's right.
Growing up where he did, there probably were just a lot of non-underwater caves.
Yeah.
But a lot of caves.
I mean, and like he ends up being right, and it's obvious, but at the same time, he says it with such certainty. It's like, what do you know?
Such certainty in so many times.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, okay, Goku.
And then we get to our favorite character, Octopapa.
Octo Daddy.
hitting you with the most 80s sounding voice and character mannerisms of all possible, like blaxploitation octopus being like, groovy, baby. And
I'm gonna get you. Call me Octopuppy.
Yeah, let me suck you in. Get in my mouth.
Look at your new house.
Yeah.
He's gonna swallow you whole.
Yeah, this guy was fun. We were chuckling. It felt really inappropriate at the same time, but also like it was funny.
It's funny.
And it didn't seem like he was meaning it in an appropriate way, but taken out of context, some of the stuff he said would be ridiculous.
Yeah, if they made this episode 20 to 30 years later, they probably don't necessarily use some of the words that they used in there.
But it was,
and at least some of the phrases they
we
used.
were cackling.
But it was funny.
We were cackling on the couch watching those ones. And then next thing I wanted to point out was Bulma and Krillin have commendable breath control. Like, Bulma in particular. Like, we know Krillin has training. We assume Blue has training. But Bulma being able to hold her breath through that entire underwater sequence is quite insane.
I mean, they just show her struggling, like, right at the end. And Krillin kind of...
But she made it most of the way.
Kind of dragging her through the end.
But she made it most of the way before she started having problems, you know?
It's impressive.
Yeah.
It's good.
And then these were some of my favorite. This was some of my favorite Krillin stuff that we've seen in a while in this first episode, because he does that. He then solves the puzzle of the tower statue master sword thrower lady.
Yeah. Well, semi solves the puzzle.
But he's able to solve that. He's able to eventually figure out.
Because I think
they're gonna run out of swords, and if I hit it in the face, maybe it'll stop.
Yeah, because I think the true solution was to get the key out of one of the chests, pop it in, and when you turn the key, it would have shut it off.
Yeah, but he was
able to just brute force it.
Yeah, he was able to disarm it.
He kind of did the barbarian disarm, where it's like, well, it can't hurt me if it's in a million pieces.
Yeah, and then
but just like,
and then he's able to beat Blue. Or he's able to hit Blue.
He's able. I mean, you gotta.
I was having so much fun with this episode. It was making me so happy. I was like, why do they keep coming back to Goku? Krillin's the main character of this episode. He's kicking butt and taking names.
And then, oh no, he's not.
And then all of a sudden, it turns sideways.
It's like, oh no, he's gonna die.
It's just like when he was fighting Roshi, where it's like he's doing it. He's gonna win, and then nope, it's over now.
Roshi turned it on. It was the same thing. And I mean, what really got him. And what made Blue so threatening was like the paralyzing eye technique.
Yeah, whatever that is, whatever he has there. It didn't show a debut of a new technique for that, so I don't know what the name of it would be, but he somehow has like the ability to just paralyze his foes with pure rage. And
pure rage, fear, whatever.
Yeah. We were joking that it was like either Mean Look from Pokemon or Glare from Pokemon.
Yeah. Because they both would work in the same. Yeah. I think Glare works a little bit better, or it's like a combination of the two.
Because it kind of paralyzes him where he can't move,
Whereas Mean Look, you just can't escape.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah, like, knowing that, I was, like, that really made me, like, excited, because, like, this episode, like, out of the two, I like this one more than the other one, just because there was so much Krillin.
Because you're a big Krillin fan.
Yeah, and there was so much Krillin, and it was good Krillin, too.
And I think, personally, for me, I would give it to the next episode.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I think the fight animation, I'll get to it, and I'm kind of spoiling my best part. The fight animation, especially at the very beginning where Goku's, like, dodging Blue in the middle of the beginning of their fight, that animation was so nice. Especially for, like, the age. Yeah. It's like it might not hold up perfectly, but it looks so good.
Yeah. And so, jumping back into the B plot of this first episode, which is Goku again. Goku has taken the B plot role in the first episode. He's fighting the octopus. He can't figure out how to beat it, and then he just decides he's gonna roast it alive, and then get to eat a little meal just to cover that.
What you were complaining about why he didn't use his Kamehameha against the robot?
Because it felt like it was like, dude, you can blow this thing away, and the argument would be like, oh well, it's because the robot might be living, so he doesn't want to kill it. But then he uses it on an obvious living being. You know,
he uses it on an obvious living being that he can eat.
Yeah,
and he's hungry.
I mean, you can eat anything if you try hard enough.
I mean, there's a person out there who like spent like a year or two eating an entire like jumbo jet.
Yeah,
like a Boeing 737 or something.
I got
like piece by piece.
I got scared that I knew that Krillin wasn't going to die because I've watched the show. I know he doesn't die here, but that was intense. Where Blue picked up the rock and was gonna cane him. That's what I call that. You know, where Cain and Abel from the Bible. Yeah. Picks up a rock and beats. You know.
But then Bulma's like, wait. Don't you love me? I'm so sexy.
Yeah. and he's like,
you're gonna give me nightmares?
Not. Absolutely not.
But then, give me nightmares?
Luckily, Goku's able to hear this and be able to come over there to save the day.
And then I think she like tries to stop it a second time.
Yeah.
I forget exactly what she does.
There's like two or it was the but you need us to give you our Dragon Balls.
Oh yeah, this is the Dragon Balls.
And then he's like, I'll just steal them. What do you mean?
I'll kill you and I'll just take them from your dead body.
Yeah.
But just because of that, I was going to let you leave. But now I'm going to kill you next.
Yeah. And then that was basically where the first episode ends, is Goku jumps out of the water.
Jumps out of the water right as he's about to crush Krillin's head with the rock again.
Yeah. And that's what leads us to our next episode, which has some crazy stuff. To start, Jesse pointed it out while we were watching it. We have finally deduced the formula of this show. If there is a long intro where they explain everything and play a long excerpt from the episode before,
episode recap from right before, you're probably padding for time.
Yeah, and were they padding for time, Jesse? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, a decent enough amount. Not as aggressively. Like this episode wasn't as aggressively padded
as the robot
as they could be.
As the robot in the last episode.
But this one was pretty padded. But like this one was pretty padded, purely just because
they didn't
of that
have
intro,
a lot, you know?
And like, but what I will give them is, even if it was kind of padded, and like the Goku dodging section at the beginning of the fight was long.
Yeah.
At least the animation was good. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
they
didn't reuse footage as much.
Yeah, like it was just like a whole bunch of.
Outside of the intro where they reused 5 minutes of footage from the last episode, but they didn't reuse footage once the episode started going. You know.
Yeah, and the fight between him and Blue, Goku and Blue, was really awesome. It was just intense as you want it to be.
Yeah,
it's kind of what you want, like a climactic fight to look like.
Yeah, and it seems like this is the end of Blue, with four episodes left in his saga. I don't see how he comes back from this.
Yeah, I mean,
we saw Ninja Murasaki come back from a tower being dropped on top of him.
Yeah,
but his tower was above ground, not underwater.
His tower was above ground where he couldn't drown.
Yeah, so I don't really know how Blue's going to come back from this one, if he's going to come back from it. But there are 4 episodes left in the Blue saga, and it seems like Blue is now dead. Not confirmed yet, but seemingly dead. We already know his whole group of people he brought down there were dead. If they weren't dead before, they are now.
Yeah, they haven't moved.
If they were unconscious, they've now been covered in rocks.
In rocks and water.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're dead.
I liked it when Blue did his flexing thing, and he almost looked like Roshi. Roshi does the Kamehameha, and he flexes all of his muscles at once.
Starts flexing hard.
Yeah.
I would kind of made a joke he's hulking out.
Yeah. And then he kicked Goku so hard it replayed 3 times.
Yep.
And then Goku kicked him so hard they replayed it 3 times.
Yeah, we had a record number of 3 times.
It was three times.
We had 3 timers.
Yeah, I wrote down each one of them because it's one of my favorite things. It's like, oh my gosh, they played it 3 times.
It's so funny.
And then it feels like Blue has real big bully energy, because it's oh no, this isn't fair, you're cheating, and then he gets you in a weakened state, and he's like, now it's my turn to beat you up. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, it's literally just the moment he gets punched or something happens, he's like, oh, you hit me, why would you hit me? Anyways, I'm gonna kill you now.
Yeah. And I did point out the Bulma being he can't survive being shot. It's like, Bulma, you shot him. You've been around.
Not necessarily with a shotgun, point blank range.
Yeah, no. The point of the caliber might be enough to do him at that range and stuff. But originally, you were the first person to shoot him in the first episode you met this guy. You could have already killed him. There's also been multiple other moments where he has been shot and wounded, wounded, but also shot and been fine. You've been around when Launch peppers him. Like, you know that gunshot might be a fatal injury with this kind of weapon and stuff, but why are you freaking out that he got shot,
Yeah.
And then we finally realize that Blue does have a fatal flaw, and it is nasty things.
Like rodents.
Rodents. I was going to say nastiness in general, which you kind of already knew with his OCD from earlier.
Having to get wet. It's like, ugh, disgusting. Stuff like that.
And then this brings up the part where I am very confused with what this Dragon Ball went through, because we know from from the knowledge we have that the Dragon Balls, after the wish has happened, they turn into regular stones and fly off in different directions in remote locations just to be hidden until a year passes where they reactivate and they turn back into the Dragon Ball. But that stone doesn't just like magically appear somewhere else. It has to travel there. It
flies there.
Yeah. So it doesn't make any sense for this one to be and it would be okay if it was. I would suspend it more if it was just in the pool next to him, or maybe in his hand, like he had grabbed it and then fell down there and died, like running away from the robot or whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's lodged in his mouth like he was a pig. And then was
spit
roasted pig with an apple in its mouth, and then it's lodged in there so deep that Goku basically has to like break the skull in half to get it out. How did it get there? It doesn't make any sense. Not to mention that it has to fly to the deepest point of the ocean, perfectly into this cave, back up out of the water, then through a tunnel, through a pirate's cove, past the submarine, keep going, then go back underwater again, then go all the way back out to the treasure chest, past the guardian that's throwing swords, into the water, and then shove itself perfectly without breaking the skull into the skull's mouth where it cannot be removed easily. It doesn't make sense. Jesse, do you have anything to add here? Are you going to be the devil's avocado today?
Magic.
Okay, but we don't...
It's a magical artifact. And if there's anything I know from playing D&D and like watching other fantasy shows, magic does what magic wants to do.
Okay. But it just...
I also know that from watching Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Magic does what magic wants.
Yeah, but it's not like it's magic, but it's based on like realistic properties. Is my argument back, where we know how it acts.
Obviously, I'm joking. I have no idea how this works.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
That's got to be the explanation, like in universe. It's just magic, just did what it wanted.
Yeah. But I enjoyed these episodes, and I enjoyed the fight scene that you were as you were pointing out. The animation was really good. It lasted longer than I thought it was going to, and I don't mean that in like a
negative way.
Like, I wasn't being like, oh man, this is dragging. I was just like, I didn't expect Blue to put up as good of a fight as he did, but he was able to.
Yeah, I mean, he's the most competent, like the smartest, and honestly, like he was getting some good licks in.
Yeah,
because I mean, like
even
I know
the paralysis.
Like I know Krillin isn't necessarily on par with Goku. Like he's not. He's nowhere. Like he's closer than most anybody else on this planet that's not named Roshi.
If we're going power rankings, up until we saw Blue fight, he was probably 3 or 4 after maybe White or Silver. But like he's in that in the power rankings, he's up in that tier.
And Roshi's barely at 1, Goku at 2.
Yeah.
Kind of fill in the blanks after that.
Yeah, but Krillin's in the top 5. With him, maybe Blue, maybe White, because we don't think Silver. Like we both have came to the conclusion Silver's not that strong. Silver was cocky and hasn't really ran across.
Silver built his power off of just controlling other people.
Yeah.
And just kind of surprise killing you.
But like White seemed quite formidable.
He seemed physically formidable.
Yeah.
And obviously Blue got like multiple good licks in on Goku even before the paralysis. And then he was able to paralyze Goku.
Yeah.
And he was able to basically get to a point where had Goku not showed up and Bulma not stalled enough for Goku to show up, Krillin would have died.
Yeah.
There was nothing stopping him from killing Krillin just besides plot armor, basically. In a roundabout way of saying it.
So yeah, Blue ends up being more formidable because this whole time I've been like, this is all build up for a guy who's gonna get like punched once and lose to Goku. You know,
it's nice to see that it was kind of justified for him to have an entire arc named after him.
Yeah,
I'm like, you know what,
it's
this
not,
guy's actually good.
It's not justified because this arc had some of the worst filler so far.
What I'm saying is like as far as just namesake wise. Yeah. It's justified. Like, he's tough enough to earn it. He's just, like, it just sucks that he earned probably the worst. I mean, not even probably. The worst arc so far.
Yeah, we were I don't know if we did this last episode on the air, but we power ranked these arcs in our head, and it's like, this one is dead last.
Yeah, so far, this did that.
Yeah.
Unless there's an insane amount of redeemable qualities that happen.
In these next four episodes.
This arc is dead last. And it will probably remain dead last for a very, very long time, if not for the rest of the show.
Yeah, for a while, for sure.
You have more information on that than I do.
I don't know how they separate arcs once you get to Z, but from in Dragon Ball, I can't think of an arc that's worse than this.
That has like a worse low, almost bad.
Has a worse low or has as much filler, you know.
Much like low class filler.
Yeah.
And things like that. Because there are definitely, I think there's definitely arcs that have more filler or just as much filler.
Oh yeah, well I know,
but they're good filler.
I know there's more filler later on, but I'm just saying in general, more like this amount of filler plus like the arc just being that insane and having that many bad points.
Like so far, this arc could legitimately just be like an email.
Yeah,
a couple episodes in an email.
Yeah, we're up to what? This is episode 7 and 8 of the arc, I think.
Give or take somewhere around there.
And we could maybe if we cut it down. We did this last episode, but if we cut it down, we could get this down to maybe 4 episodes. You know, we could cut these episodes in half, like the amount of episodes in half.
And then who knows what's beyond that underneath.
Yeah, and so moving on to the next bit for me is Blue wakes up after getting beat by Goku, and he's like, "Oh yes, the treasure, it's all mine," and then gets trapped under rubble. And we are pretty sure he's dead.
He could survive. We're canoning that he's dead until we see him somewhere later.
Until our next recording.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I feel pretty confident saying he's dead until we next see him. If we never see him, then he's just dead.
Yeah, it'd be hard to get out of there because I'm assuming this is supposed to take the place of like the Marianas Trench that they go down, and then they just find a cove underneath that. So it's like it'd be hard for him to get out of where they're at safely. Like we saw Goku, alien monster boy who can swim for ages,
and couldn't
get there.
Yeah, he's still hanging on in the balance of whether Goku's actually going to get to the submarine.
And I guess that's where we have to leave it at because like there's a cliffhanger, you know.
The cliffhanger is Goku has got the Dragon Ball. He wasted a little bit more time looking for like Mousy.
Yeah. I think he just found the mouse.
He found the mouse and was then like
sprinting down the hallway.
Swimming, all of it to try to get back to the submarine in time. And like Bulma and Krillin are like. Bulma's just like, we're gonna have to leave, and she like begins to start the sub and like get it to leave, and that's where it leaves. I was like, will Goku make it in time? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball.
And I like the fact that like Bulma lies to Krillin, because Krillin's like, well, what do you think Goku would do if he was in the same situation as us right now? And she's like, he would leave, and it's like, no, Goku would move heaven and earth to save you guys. Yeah, you know, like he would.
Don't insult my boy's name.
Yeah, he would. He would do whatever. He would do everything in his power to get back to you guys. Make sure you guys were there. But yeah, Jesse, moving into our prediction section because that was basically where it was off. Goku's on a cliffhanger. Is he gonna make it? Guess we'll have to tune in next week to find out. But your predictions from last week for these episodes were Bulma, Krillin, and Blue are gonna get to the treasure room. Check. Blue waits for the Dragon Ball and then jumps. Sort of
check.
He didn't actually know where the Dragon Ball was when he got up there,
But he knew they were close to finding it.
Yeah. Krillin holds off Blue as best he can until Goku shows up and beats Blue. Check. So we'll give you 2.5 out of 3.
That's fair.
Because it wasn't 100% all there, but you were in ballpark, you know. So moving into our next 2 episodes, let me pull up our episode list real quick. We're getting pretty close to the end of the saga, boys and girls. We will be moving into the episode 55 and 56. Oh, we are going to have a No, wait. This was... we'll be moving into episode 54 and 55, so...
Yeah, I was at 54.
54, Escape from Pirate Cave. 55, Penguin Village.
Okay. Well, I think Escape from Pirate Cave is pretty obviously just the entire... Like, a bulk of that episode's just going to be them in the submarine trying to get out.
Okay.
I think that's pretty self-explanatory. That's where we're going to end up starting next episode.
Okay. And then what about Penguin Village?
I mean, I guess there's a village of penguins.
Okay.
That may or may not have a Dragon Ball in it. Because I'm going to guess they spend about half of the first episode, or a little over half of the first episode, escaping. And then they get out. They, like, go back to Roshi and, like, towards the end of the episode, that's the episode. Get their Dragon Balls back from Roshi. And then they depart. Whether Krillin stays with Goku and Bulma or not, I'm going to say Krillin is going to stay with them.
Krillin,
that's my guess. So
Krillin stays with the party.
Yeah, and then they go off to find the next Dragon Ball, which happens to be in a village of penguins.
And they go to find the next ball in a village of penguins.
Yeah, that's my guess.
In a village of penguins. Okay, so I got in the sub getting out for episode 1. Krillin stays with the party and goes to find the next ball in a village of penguins for episode 2.
Yeah.
All right, Jesse. So that gives us that. And what is your worst part of the episode? This one's hard because it was kind of mid, in my opinion. I can't think of like a particular bad part. There wasn't really anything super pervy. I guess like we didn't get to see it, but all of the like homophobic stuff that was said in the episode and the Japanese dub, if you listen to that, would probably be the worst part. But I can't judge that because I didn't see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna disqualify that purely because that's not what we watched.
Yeah.
Just set the precedent. Like if there's something bad in the Japanese version that we don't get to watch, then it's don't.
Then I guess my worst part is gonna be Krillin almost dying.
Yeah, for you that's pretty easy.
Poor Krillin.
Krillin just absolutely just getting destroyed. Yeah, that was it was tough to watch even without being like the biggest fan of Krillin.
Yeah, even though
I love Krillin, but I'm not like a ginormous fan like.
And even knowing he doesn't die here, it was still stressful that he could die. You know, even though I knew he didn't, it's like, but what if he does this time?
Yeah, it's just still tough to watch.
Yeah.
You said we're going to worst part.
Worst part, Jesse.
I guess it's just like for me, it's the sudden realization of like, oh, like as soon as the second episode started, like, oh, they're padding for time again.
Yeah, the long intro.
The long intro is like, oh, they're padding for time.
Yeah.
And like the realization of like, oh, they're gonna do this every time they're padding for.
They're gonna give us like a 3 to 5 minute intro so that they only have to do 19 minutes of animation.
Yep, straight up. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. With the ultimate death knell for padding is going to be the 3 to 5 minute intro with the repeated footage.
Yep,
that's when we're going to know for sure. Jesse, best part. What about you? What was your best part?
I'm going to give it to the Goku Blue fight, like especially like specifically for me, the dodging part where like the animation looks so good in that moment.
Yeah. After he gets kicked in the face.
And then like he starts like
he's
jumping around, dodging him.
Yeah.
The animation just looks so clean.
Yeah. They really saved up. They saved up on the budget with the robot fight so they could show it off for Blue.
Yep.
Makes it worth it. But you know what my best part is? It's Krillin. It's Krillin. Krillin doing Krillin things, beating up the statue, surviving the gunfire, finding the key, unlocking it, taking on Blue, holding him off as best as he can, and a way only a Krillin could hold off, and saving the day for the most part up until Goku saves it. You know.
Yeah.
And we got our first scene of Krillin smiling as Goku appears and going, Goku. Which, there's no telling how many times that happens. Who knows how many other times Krillin stares at Goku while on the ground beaten to a pulp and says, Goku's here.
Goku, my
I might not have beat you, but my big brother's got you now. But with that, time to start closing up.
Yep.
Thank you guys for listening. You can email us at becomingsaiyans@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube, and on TikTok. Follow our TikTok that are all named at Becoming Saiyans Pod. And until next week, I have been Truman.
And I've been Jesse.
And the journey continues.
Bye.